Story 1. My name's Garrett. I'm 28 now, but this all went down when I was 23. Back then, I was working the night shift at a semi-rural gas station just off Route 15 in Pennsylvania. Cold, quiet, dead by 11 p.m. except for that damned fluorescent hum. I took the job because I needed rent money, and I figured, how bad could it be? Worst case, some yahoos roll through at 2 a.m. asking for beef jerky. I didn't know what I was inviting myself into. Let me try to lay it out. Messy, scattered, because that's how my head feels trying to remember. I'm not a great storyteller, so you gotta stick with me. It started with footsteps around the station. Not outside, just inside, but not in the main shop. More like the storage area. I'd be restocking drinks or doing inventory. The lights dim next to the back cooler, and I'd hear soft steps, like carpet, not my shoes. Pause. A shift. Then footsteps again. I thought it was my coworker, this older guy named Phil, coming to help. But I asked him. He kept late hours one night, me another. He'd text me later saying he never left the office side. I swear I heard whispering too. Twice I thought I heard someone say my name. Not loud, just Garrett, like someone standing just out of sight. I shook it off, told myself maybe the wind or the health report speaker system freaked out. Then one night, at 2 a.m., it got worse. I was by the rear cooler. Door was half lit from outside. I swear I saw a shadow move across it. Actual movement, not my reflection. I flipped on the lights. Nothing. The door was empty. And just after I turned back, I felt like someone stepped into me. Like a second person had walked past me, shoulder pressed for half a second, then gone. I jumped, spun around. No one there. Heart pounding. I texted Phil on break. "You around?" He replied with, "Nope, at home." His shift ended at midnight. So I texted the manager. She said, "You're overreacting. Clean up and go home." She didn't know something else was happening. A few nights later, I was closing alone. I finished wiping down the counters, put the trash in the dumpster outside, locked main door at 3:15 a.m. Then I went to the bathroom. As I washed my hands, I heard the door open behind me, water still running from the sink. Then a heavy, deep sigh. I froze. You know that voice? You can't tell if it's your own memory or not? And I said, "Hello?" Nothing. So I peeked around the stall. Nothing. I washed faster than I realized. Back at the counter, light flicker. The whole store. Buzz, buzz. Then light went dark just for a second. When it flicked on again, I thought I saw someone. At the end of the aisle. Tall. Thin. Hat on. Face shadowed. And they didn't move. I blinked. Gone. My hands shook so bad, I dropped the till receipt printer. It went boom. I called the manager right then. She said she was heading in, told me to wait in my car until she arrived. I did. I sat in that shitty old Corolla with the engine off. I thought, maybe I imagined it. Maybe too much caffeine. But I posted later on Reddit, and somebody called out an old thread from today, where a hospital night shift worker said he heard footsteps and whispering when alone. Something about doors unlocking themselves. Same time frame. Same damn feeling. Manager showed up, flicked lights back on. We checked everything. No footprints in dust, nothing missing. She shrugged it off as wiring. I got driven home. Next night, I took off. That's when things got real. I got a message in the morning from Phil. Don't work tonight. Just that. No explanation. I called him. Is everything okay? He says, voice shaking, dude, I've been hearing something. In the back, footsteps, whispers. I thought I was losing it. I'm not going in. I told him I'd call the manager, but he said no. Said he was already taking the night off. It annoyed me. Until that evening, around 11, I got a text from the manager. Don't come in. Call me tomorrow. Morning comes, manager tells me. Someone broke in. Back door was unlocked. Office drawer ransacked. They found muddy footprints leading to the office. Cash box was untouched. They called police. No prints or DNA. Electrical wiring fine. Phil never came back. I quit 2 days later. Got another job at a cafe with people around me. Still, my blood runs cold sometimes. I don't stick around long in quiet bathrooms. I triple lock doors now. I don't know what was there at that gas station. A person? A ghost? Wiring? Doesn't matter. It got inside my head. And I know it wasn't just me. That's what scares me most. I texted a few random strangers who'd posted similar stories, tons tonight, about footsteps, whispers, unlocked doors, cold spots. This whole thread blew up just hours ago. People saying the same stuff across different jobs, gas stations, hospitals, warehouses. It's trending as I type. Maybe I'm remembering it all wrong. Maybe it was just rats or pranksters. But the footsteps, the whisper, I felt someone beside me. No doubt. So that's my coworker horror. Except it wasn't a coworker in the end. It was something else. Story 1. My name's Tyler. I'm 33 now, but this all happened when I was 26. Back then, I worked the overnight janitor shifts at an old community college campus up in rural Oregon. I'd just moved out of my parents' place, needed cash, and figured it was an easy gig. Clean floors, empty classrooms, back out before sunrise. Simple. Except it wasn't. I barely knew most of the night crew. There was me, a dude named Raj who watched late classes, and a woman named Jenna who did the library sections. One guy, Mike, floated, sometimes nights, sometimes weekends. We all did our work, kept to ourselves. We never talked much, not really. The first weird thing happened about 2 weeks into the job. I was cleaning one of the lecture halls around 2 a.m., lights echoing off the linoleum. I was halfway through buffing the floor when I heard it. A soft smack, like my mop handle, tapping the floor. I looked down, nothing. I flipped my head, no one there. I laughed at myself. It's just the echo, I thought. But then I heard it again, 2 taps. Pause. Tap. I stopped. Heart picked up. I glanced at the doorway. Dark hallway. Exit sign, buzzing red. No one there. So I kept mopping, trying not to freak out. Then I heard a voice, super soft, like someone whispering just out of earshot. Tyler, but faded, almost like I imagined it. I brushed it off, told myself I was tired. Over the next few nights, it got weird. I'd hear footsteps behind me in the hallway, steps not matching the pace I was working. I'd swear I heard creaking door hinges. Once I paused to listen, nothing. Then, from the stairwell, I heard a whisper, "Help me." By then, I was keeping my phone's flashlight on low, even in lit hallways. I didn't mention it to Raj or Jenna. Didn't know if they'd think I was nuts. Only Mike didn't seem like someone I'd want to share my freak out with. One night, at 3 a.m., I was cleaning the little restroom by the admin offices. Water dripping, floor wet, fan humming. I was squatting to scrub grout when I felt someone behind me. Not close enough to touch, just there. I turned, saw a tall shadow by the stall. No features, just a silhouette. I jumped, hit my head on the sink. I scrambled up, phone torch out. Nothing. Stall doors closed. Fan droning. Blood was dripping down my forehead, but I didn't even know how bad it was. I fled back to the supply closet, grabbed some tissues, pressed them to my head. I called Raj. He sounded half asleep, but I told him, "Dude, something's off." He said, I'm stalking in the other building." I asked him to check on me, came out with a coffee. I waited in the supply closet until he showed. He helped clean me up, said it was just a bump, and to call maintenance if the faucet was leaking or tiles loose. After that, I started sleeping less during the day. My mind wouldn't shut off. I'd wake up at night, expecting to hear footsteps in my apartment. A couple weeks later, I was back at the campus, wiping the floor in the student lounge, when Jenna walked in. I nearly jumped out of my skin. She gave me a weird look. "You okay?" she asked. I shrugged. She frowned and said, "I've been hearing things too, like crying, but no one's here." She paused, voice soft. I thought I was losing it. I felt relieved. I told her everything I'd heard. She nodded slowly. "Same hallway, back near the old science wing?" I said, "Yeah." She whispered, "Me too." And then after a beat, "But I didn't tell anyone." We talked a bit. I felt less alone. We decided to stick together whenever we hit that area. She said she heard voices calling her name in the dark stacks. That lasted a couple nights. We'd walk in pairs through the creepy zone. Nothing too weird. Just footsteps echoing distant, floorboards creaking off schedule, voices half heard. Then one night, around 1:30 a.m., I was in the empty music practice room cleaning, and the lights went out, just snapped off. Emergency red bulbs flickered in the hallway. I waited, cleaning mania taking over, but they stayed out. Something about it felt wrong, though, like someone wanted me to stay. Then I heard music, not from speakers, like a soft piano. Room is empty. I grab my phone, flashlight beam. I step in. The sheet music stand is set up, open to a page, no one around. Keys start tinkling, not loud, just one note, then another, like someone playing softly. My heart pounds. I blink. A tall man is standing by the piano, played in silhouette, no face visible. I snap flashlight. He bolts out, doors banging. I bolt after him down the hallway. Paneled offices, empty, except for water dripping somewhere. I chase him to the stairwell, but it's empty. I run back to the practice room. Nobody there. Piano still. Sheet music on stand. I shook so bad, I dropped my phone. It cracked. I called Jenna from my broken screen outside the music wing. "Don't come," she said, voice broken up. She sounded asleep, but panicked. I hung up. I left, went home, texted manager the next day, said I had to quit. He said okay. Told HR I was overwhelmed. I never mentioned the ghost stuff. But then, 2 months later, I get a message on LinkedIn from Mike. "Did you ever find out who that guy was?" Heart sinks. I didn't tell anyone else. I blocked him. I looked up that old building. It closed in the 80s after a student died. Some urban myth says he was a music major who fell to his death in that stairwell. Some say his piano would still play at night. I don't know, but sometimes I hear a single note echo when I'm cleaning, and I still freeze. Story 3. My name's Aaron. I'm 31 now, but I was 24 when this happened. Back then, I was working as a night guard at a small-town grocery store just outside Minneapolis. I needed money. Thought it'd be an easy, quiet gig. Just me, a few aisles, and some fluorescent lights. I had no idea what I was walking into. On my first shift, I was assigned to Register 1. The till was mostly empty, but underneath the drawer, I found a folded note. It looked old, creased like it had been read 100 times. It was handwritten and said, "Dear Aaron, follow these rules. 1. Patrol every 30 minutes. 2. Don't go down aisle 7. Don't even look at it. 3. If you hear knocking from the freezers, ignore it. 4. If a woman shows up after 3 a.m., hide. Don't report, don't speak. 5. If you find blood in the meat aisle, mop it. Do not touch it. Never end your shift early." It was signed, Clive. I assumed it was a prank, maybe a Halloween joke. I laughed it off and got started. Midnight came and went without much happening. Just the usual hum of lights and the distant buzz from the soda coolers. But around 12:45, I passed aisle 7. Out of habit, I glanced down it. The lights flickered. I stopped. I don't know why, but something felt wrong. Like I'd walked past a doorway I wasn't supposed to see. The pet food section looked normal, but off. The shadows seemed longer than they should be. The aisle just looked darker, even though every bulb was lit. I didn't go down it. I kept walking. About 30 minutes later, I heard a sound. A slow tapping, coming from the direction of the freezers. 3 soft knocks. I froze. The note flashed through my mind. If you hear knocking from the freezers, ignore it. I told myself it was just the compressors, that they probably made weird noises all the time. But then I heard it again. Knock, 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 closer this time. I turned and walked the other way, didn't look back. When I got to the restroom near the staff break area, I decided to splash water on my face. I figured I just needed to reset. The second I turned on the faucet, I heard the bathroom door creak open behind me. I glanced at the mirror. Nobody there. But I swear I heard someone breathing. A long, slow exhale. I spun around. Still, no one. I waited, holding my breath, but the room was empty. I dried off fast and got out. Later, around 2:50 a.m., I went to clean the meat section. That's when I saw it. Blood on the floor, a dark smear trailing from the freezer to the produce wall. It didn't look like a spill. It looked like someone had been dragged. My first instinct was to step back, maybe even call someone. But then I remembered the note. Mop it. Do not touch it. So I did. I filled the bucket, soaked the mop, and started swiping the stain. It didn't lift. The blood just sank into the floor, like it had been absorbed, like it wanted to stay. I swear. As I worked, I felt something behind me. Not watching, but waiting. At 3:17 a.m., just as I was finishing my last lap around the aisles, I saw her. A woman, pale skin, long dark hair, wearing a nightgown. She was walking slowly down the aisle near the salad bar. Her eyes were downcast, her arms loose at her sides. I didn't move. I remembered the rule. If a woman shows up after 3 a.m., hide. Don't speak. Don't look. I lowered my head, stepped behind a shelf, and waited. When I looked back, she was gone. I checked the security monitors in the back office. Nothing. No footage. No record of anyone entering. I came back the next night, but I was on edge the whole time. Every creak of the ceiling, every flicker of the lights. I couldn't relax. I kept hearing faint knocking from the freezer. 3 taps, always the same rhythm. At 2:30, I took a break in the office. I checked the monitors again, and I saw someone on screen, standing at the end of aisle 7. They were tall, very tall, face hidden by shadows, just standing. I ran out to check. When I got to the aisle, it was empty, nothing there. I told myself the feed was delayed, or maybe I was seeing old footage. But deep down, I knew it wasn't either of those things. 2 nights later, I quit. I didn't explain. I just left the key in the lockbox and never went back. About a month later, I got a message on Facebook from someone named Clive. No profile picture. The message just said, "Good, you followed the rules." I blocked the account immediately. I don't know if it was real, or if someone was just messing with me. But here's the part that still gets me. A few weeks ago, I found a Reddit thread titled "Weird Night Shift Rules." It had stories from other people, in other towns, with rules almost identical to mine. Avoid aisle 7. Don't answer knocks from the freezer. Don't look at the woman after 3 a.m. Different stores, different names, same rules. And every one of them said the same thing. It starts on your first night. You're alone. You're not supposed to ask questions. Just follow the rules, or something finds you. I haven't worked a night job since. And sometimes, even now, I'll be at a grocery store during the day, and I'll walk past aisle 7, and I'll feel it. That same pressure, that same warning. Like something is still watching me. Like the job didn't end.